Here we go. The pick is in. Roger Goodell is waving again.
Come on,
I can't watch that.
Jordan Love, come on.
Oh, what happened to Brett Favre is going to happen to A-Rod. Oh,
Embrace the future of the Green Bay Packers. They are selecting Jordan Love, quarterback, Utah State.
Oh, no.
Welcome to my world all night.
Yes, they did it. They gave him something.
shook the table. They shook the table.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Walk it off.
Because it makes sense, though.
You know, Aaron might ask for a trade.
He should.
Are you asking for a trade? Are you done being a Packers fan over there, Mel Kiper?
Well, unless we're going to have this son of a gain 90 pounds and play D tackle or something. I don't know why we picked him.
How did this pick end up happening?
Not that big of a surprise, Molly. I was going through my draft notes this morning, and one person told me leading up in the process that Matt LaFleur, the Packers head coach, will not let Jordan Love get past him.
How should Aaron Rodgers feel about this move?
He should feel disgusted. He should feel insulted. And as far as I'm concerned, if I was Aaron Rodgers, I'd ask to be traded. To hell with all of them. Kick rocks. Have a nice life.
I think this is a classic example, Greeny, of drafting a quarterback when you don't necessarily need one in the immediate future. And I think that's smart business, that's smart team building.
Oh, by the way, if we go back and look in time, Brett Favre was 36 when the Packers drafted Aaron Rodgers.
Boy, Jordan Love better make the Hall of Fame.
I just think that sky's the limit for this team.
I'm going to the Super Bowl.
Oh!
No, I'm playing. I don't know where we're going.
You've already got the Packers and Lions as real contenders in the division.
The Packers are going to be a good football team for a long time under Jordan Love.
Jordan Love can ball, y'all.
After an unbelievable end to the season last year, the Green Bay Packers shocked everyone and became that team that rose past expectations. So now new expectations are here for the still early career of Jordan Love. Everyone is wondering, can he add to his breakout year? Is this the dawn of a new era in the NFL? And how far can he take the Packers this up and coming season? We're going to talk about the rise of Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers and how last season was the stepping stone that just might propel them to greatness this season. But before we do that, don't forget to help a brother out. Hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and comment down below. And with that, let's get into this video. So, with the departure of Aaron Rodgers after a 18-year career in Green Bay, many wondered how good would Jordan Love be. It would be his first season starting in his career after sitting for 2 years behind the Hall of Famer. And as we all know, Jordan Love did not disappoint. However, the season did not start as well as it ended. Last season, before the Green Bay Packers got rolling, they started the season out 3-6 through their first 9 games. But it was at some point during this learning time, a light switch would go off and the youngest team in the NFL at that time would put together a very impressive stretch. The following 3 weeks would include the Packers winning in come from behind fashion in a 23-20 win over the Los Angeles Chargers. Jordan Love would see career highs in this game with 322 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Green Bay followed that up with 2 more key wins over playoff teams, which included the Detroit Lions and then the eventual Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. And with that, they now at this point have a 6-6 record. However, at the time, the performances were forgotten because they would go on to lose the next 2 weeks in a bad loss to the Giants and another loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But as we all know, in the NFL, anyone can beat anybody on any given day. Green Bay may have had the talent to win that game against the Giants and the talent to be more competitive in that game against the Bucs, but as a young team, one of the most important things to learn, dare I say the hardest thing to learn, is that you have to win the games that you are supposed to win and stay focused through adversity, which is why, in my opinion, it seemed that the entire season included every single lesson a team needs in order to propel them to the next level. Let me explain. The Giants are a team that struggled for majority of the season to get anything going, and the same can be said about their next 2 opponents that season, who were the Carolina Panthers and the Minnesota Vikings, 2 teams that were not playing well at all. Green Bay will go on to win both of those games, and at the end of the season they would defeat a Chicago Bears team who was also coming off of back-to-back wins, which means after a loss to the Bucs, the Packers would go on to once again have a 3-game win streak that season, finishing finishing with a 9-8 record, which was good enough to get them into the playoffs where they would shock the entire landscape of the NFL.
We are 7-point favorites at Jerry World.
Also, we all picked the Cowboys. Like, that's crazy.
This time should be, will be, must be different.
Coming into the game, the Cowboys were 7.5-point favorites. Many believe this could be the year the Cowboys can get over the hump. Should I say many Cowboys fans did, but I digress. The expectations were extremely high for them at that time. They worked hard all season to secure a home playoff game. And during that season in Jerry World, the Cowboys were a perfect 8-0. So many thought it would be a foregone conclusion that the boys would eventually go on to get a win in Jerry World during this time. However, before Jerry Jones could do another interview with the media, it was already halftime, and the Packers were already up 27-7. The Cowboys would make the game look better in the box score than it actually was, with the Packers winning 48-32. No one saw this coming. Jordan Love would finish the game with 272 yards and 3 touchdowns. Aaron Jones would have 118 yards on 21 carries. Whether it was passing or run blocking, the O-line dominated. And most of the reason why the Cowboys scored 32 was because Green Bay played prevent for most of the fourth quarter. But moving on to the following week against the 49ers, Green Bay would come up short 21-24. In a game that came down to the wire, Jordan Love would throw for 194 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. And much of the reason they lost that game was because they had to settle for field goals during most of their trips to the red zone, becoming the first team in 20 years to reach the red zone on their first 3 drives without getting a touchdown. On top of that, Jordan Love showed his youth during the stretch of this game, going 5 of 9 in the fourth quarter. However, that was only for 19 yards, with one of his 2 interceptions being a costly one in the fourth quarter. The 49ers also won the fourth quarter, scoring 10 unanswered points when the Packers were already up. But for the Packers, these are the moments that define great. The fall before the rise. Can you turn that pain of a loss into fuel to propel you to the next level? And I believe Jordan Love has that in him. And this season, with all of the expectations being 10 times higher than before, us NFL fans are going to enjoy every single second. So what have the Packers done so far to improve the roster to make sure that they're going to be back in the playoff picture? Well, they signed running back Josh Jacobs to a 4-year, $48 million deal, a back who is 3 years younger than Aaron Jones. Even though I believe Jones still has some production left, this is an upgrade that will go a long way. Jacobs did lead the league in rushing in 2022. Even though last year was a down year filled with some injuries, I believe this would be a bounce back year because the Raiders as a whole were not that dynamic on offense last year. They also added safety Xavier McKinney from the Giants, and if a production translate over, this could finally be a solid win at the safety position, a position they have been trying to fill since the unfortunate career-ending injury to Nick Collins in 2011. Last season, he was one of 4 NFL players with 100+ tackles, 3+ interceptions, 10+ passes defended, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. And with that, let's take a look at the NFL draft.
The Green Bay Packers select Jordan Morgan,
a offensive lineman who looks promising, coming in at 6'5", 311 pounds. He's a guy who at minimum adds depth to this already good offensive line, a group that Green Bay seems to always draft well at. Last year, the offensive line for Green Bay was ranked 5th by Pro Football Focus. That starting 5 was all internal draft picks. So being ranked 5th with no free agent intervention is very impressive, and they followed that up with some very good defensive choices. I really like the safety from Georgia they selected with the 58th pick, a hard worker, a former 3-star recruit who worked his way up into the starting lineup at the University of Georgia, a hard hitter who has great anticipation. Last season he had 46 tackles and 2 interceptions. And I also like the 3rd selection, Adrian Cooper, the linebacker who was also selected in the 2nd round, a guy who this past season led the SEC in tackles for loss with 17, and a guy who had a team high tackles with 84, which was 4th in the SEC. And with so many offensive guys going early in the draft, a lot of defensive guys with good grades went a lot lower than expected. The Green Bay Packers seem to be addressing all of the needs that they have in order to set their team up for the most success. Last year, Jordan Love threw for 4,159 yards with a total of 32 touchdowns and 11 interceptions, with a wide receiver room that notably includes Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs and Jayden Reed at the starting positions. Last year, Romeo Doubs had 674 yards and 8 touchdowns. Jayden Reed had 793 yards and 8 touchdowns. Christian Watson had 422 yards and 5 touchdowns. However, he did average 15 yards per catch. That's because the main question mark in this group is not the talent, it's the health of Christian Watson. In the past, Watson has dealt with multiple hamstring issues that may have been fixed by a Wisconsin doctor. And if this group stays healthy, the sky's the limit because everyone knows their role and they are more than capable. So with an offense that is going to have more chemistry this year, I want to give a quick shout out to head coach Matt LaFleur, who seems to be doing a great job in the development of this young talent. And if we are speaking on coaches, the Packers do have a new defensive coordinator in Jeff Hafley, who is coming into a situation where the Packers were ranked 17th in overall defense last year. Can he scheme and turn his team into a top 10 defensive group? There are solid players there returning that includes Rashard Gray, Jair Alexander, and others, and with their new additions, they are going to have the potential to improve that much more. But at the end of the day, it will all come down to Jordan Love. Will he take this team to heights they haven't seen since 2011 at some point in time in his young career? Only time will tell, but the potential is there, which means this is a great time to be a Packers fan. And with his talent, along with the combination of the experience he gained last year by being put in so many different situations, Jordan Love has what it takes to put himself in the MVP conversation and potentially win it, and much more during his career. So with that being said, it's going to be interesting to see how everything plays out. If you made it this far, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like for the algorithm. Comment down below what you're looking forward to seeing this season. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.